tremendous pleasure to welcome Ken Follett. He is, has been a thriller master, and he's, I was going to go into the link in the introduction, but then I thought that's kind of ridiculous. There's probably not a single person in this room that hasn't read his books and know who he is. But I thought I'd better check up on him anyway, and I went to his website to look up his biography, and the page was absolutely blank. So I thought there's a mystery here. So I had to go to Wikipedia to find out that Ken is, they claim 100 million books. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I only mentioned that today. They may be clapping, but they all hate you now. Anyway, for me, Bob was asked what is the greatest thriller. To me, The Eye of the Needle is the most perfect thriller ever written. And that's something I think that's where I'd like to start, because it's just, I think that most of us here are writers or want to be writers, striving along that road. And I sort of wanted to talk to Ken more as a writer, to a writer, to have him enlighten us as to his secrets. I know he keeps his biography secret, but maybe he will share some of his other secrets with us. But starting with The Eye of the Needle, the thing that I find so extraordinary about it is the absolutely pitch-perfect pacing. And I wonder how you did that, how you learned how to do that, what books you wrote before that taught you how to...
And when I started to write fiction, it was very difficult for me to change. And my early books before Eye of the Needle were all much too short, and everything happened much too quickly. And one of the reasons those early books were not successful was the pace. I didn't get the pace right. But I kind of had figured that out. I knew that was a problem for me. I knew that was one of the places I was going wrong. And one of the things that helped me with Eye of the Needle was that I planned it. Now, Bob was just talking about this and saying that he never starts writing a novel until he's planned it. And that's true of me now, but in the early days I didn't do that. I used to just sit down at the typewriter and type chapter 1 and think, now what should I put next? And that, for me, that was a bit, and there are some writers who do it that way, but for me that was a mistake. And Eye of the Needle has has quite a strict structure. There are 6 parts, and each part has 6 chapters, and the 6th chapter is always some international incident that relates to what the individual characters have been doing. And that, I think, what helped me with the pace was that having that structure as a kind of discipline. The other thing I did was I just kind of forced myself to slow down. There's a fight in the middle of the book. There's a fight. It takes place on the edge of a cliff. Nothing original about that. But I knew that the fight had to go on for a long time. And I decided arbitrarily that it would be 6 pages. And I vowed that I was not going to start writing the next scene until this scene had been 6 pages. And I then wrote down a list of all the things that could possibly happen in a fight between 2 men. And there were something like 30-something things by the time I had finished. And I just put all those things in. And it kept on going. And I thought when I'd finished it that it would be obvious what I had done. And I had a friend who was reading it actually as I went along, an older man, a television writer, older than me, who was old enough to remember the war, which I was. He was really reading it for authenticity and errors. But he read that chapter, he said, I like the fight. And I thought, well, that's it, I've done it. He likes it. He didn't say, and he was a writer, so he would have said, I know how you did this, you fool. I was really expecting him to say, you just can't do that, Follett. You can't just have 36 things happen. But it worked. So the long answer to a short question. But I think what helped me to get the pace right was discipline in the writing process. In the